Hey, I'm your host Michaela, and today I'm going to talk about the 10 things King Charles inherited from the Queen. And make sure to subscribe because it really helps us out, but now let's get started. Starting off this countdown at number 10, problems. The ascension of King Charles III to the throne has reignited a debate over whether the royal family deserves a global role in the 21st century, no more so than in the 14th Commonwealth realms, where the British monarch remains the head of state. Hard questions about the place of a foreign king have been raised by the legacy of empire and slavery that have been intertwined with British royalty for centuries. Republican movements from the Pacific to North America to the Caribbean will be deciding whether they should take advantage of the opportunity. Recent events, including Barbados' conversion to a republic in 2021 and the removal of Queen Elizabeth as its head of state, have also contributed to a build-up that may now reach a peak, according to The Guardian. Although there are vocal Republicans in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, it seems like Jamaica will have to deal with the problem first, not least because installing King Charles III could necessitate a constitutional referendum. Number 9, Duchy of Cornwall. Long before he inherited his mother's empire, King Charles III created his own. Charles spent 50 years building his royal estate into a billion-dollar portfolio. He's one of the most successful moneymakers in the royal family industry, while his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, primarily entrusted responsibility for her portfolio to Charles. The development of the Duchy of Cornwall, a private estate, involved Charles in a far deeper way. King Charles III has built up a sizable group of experienced managers over the last 10 years who've almost doubled the value of profits in his portfolio. The iconic cricket stadium, the Oval, the luxuriant countryside in the south of England, coastal vacation rentals, office space in London, and a suburban grocery depot are all currently owned by the Duchy of Cornwall. The 130,000-acre real estate portfolio, which is almost the size of Chicago and brings in millions of dollars annually in rental income, is customarily controlled by a duke or duchess, according to the New York Times. However, King Charles III will forfeit the Duchy of Cornwall. Prince William, the eldest son of Charles and the current successor to the throne, will get the duchy, which was established in 1337 by Edward III for his son and heir Prince Edward. Number 8, Wimbledon's Royal Box. As the name suggests, the Royal Box on the center court at Wimbledon's is the best place to enjoy a game of tennis. The 74-seater box, which was built in 1992 and owned by Queen Elizabeth II, has been an entertainment spot for friends and guests, including the members of the royal family, political figures, and commercial partners who are allowed to sit on an invitation-only basis. The price of the tickets is not stated because, as I mentioned, it is invite only, but it's estimated that they could probably cost around $700 per ticket, and King Charles can invite whoever he wants. Number 7, the Sovereign Grant. The British royal family is traditionally supported by taxpayers' funds, following an agreement made by King George III in the late 18th century. The Sovereign Wealth Grant is a fixed annual payment that is paid to the royal family from public funds. In 2021 and 2022, the value of the Sovereign Grant has been set at just over $100 million. These funds are used to cover a variety of the expenses of King Charles III and the rest of the royal family, including travel costs, security, and official engagements. The grant also helps fund the upkeep of royal residences such as Buckingham Palace. The Sovereign Grant is used to support the Queen and her family, as well as to pay the costs associated with the succession to the throne. Number 6, no taxes. And now King Charles III will inherit the majority of the late sovereign's personal assets in its entirety, without the British government receiving any compensation, according to the provisions signed into law by the then Prime Minister John Major in 1993. Inheritances handed from, quote, a sovereign to a sovereign are exempt from the 40% tax imposed on assets worth more than $380. However, there is much more at stake than $500 million inherited by King Charles III. Number 5, swan population. Queen Elizabeth enjoyed all manner of historic perks thanks to her then position as monarch, but one of the most unusual is that she had the right to own any swans swimming in open waters throughout the United Kingdom. I could go to Wales or any part of England or Scotland and say, that swan belongs to Her Majesty, and just take it. That would be it, says David Barber, who holds the ancient title of Royal Swan Marker. So it's likely now that King Charles would inherit those swans as well. Number 4, the future. King Charles III is the oldest heir to the British throne, and some experts believe that the responsibilities and challenges of being head of state should prompt him to abdicate in favor of his son so that he can retire with honor, taking over the overwhelming inheritance left by his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. He has a window of time in which to rule the country, and now everyone is waiting to see what kind of sovereign he will be. According to some experts, one of the reasons for King Charles III to abdicate would be that he is not comfortable with the constraints of his role as monarch, particularly in expressing his personal views. The king is used to speaking his mind. The new monarch of the United Kingdom, a more polarizing figure than his mother, is expected to rekindle debate over the usefulness of the royal family in light of the current state of the nation. At the same time, King Charles III is expected to fill the void created by the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, an iconic figure across the globe known for her sense of duty and devotion to service. Number 3, car collection. The Queen made her presence princess known even by the vehicle she drove to reach various events and appointments. It started in 1944, when she joined the war effort as an 18-year-old princess. The Queen's state fleet, comprising 3 Rolls-Royces, 3 Daimlers, and 2 Bentleys, is kept at Buck House, alongside a few Volkswagen support cars, so there's a high chance that Charles will take ownership of these cars and drive them without a license, of course. Number 2. The true royal riches. The monarch as an institution is in possession of royal riches that are worth an estimated value of $38 billion. All these will be given to King Charles III in trust. The assets include properties such as the Crown Estate, Buckingham Palace, the Duchy of Lancaster, the Duchy of Cornwall, Kensington Palace, and the Crown Estate, Scotland. Also the royal collection of art and jewellery, as well as official residences and the royal archives. That makes it one of Europe's most prominent property empires, with a huge commercial interest in areas such as developing offshore wind power generation. King Charles III, who once married to the late Princess Diana, is not allowed to sell any of these assets, however. But the royal family receives 25% of profits from the Crown Estate. Charles's personal wealth, which according to Celebrity Net Worth is estimated to be worth $100 million, will be augmented by the riches of the late Queen Elizabeth. Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's late husband, left a more modest legacy worth approximately $11 million, which included a collection of about 3,000 works of art, most of which were given to relatives and friends, according to the Sunday Times. The Duchy of Lancaster is a private estate with business, agricultural, and residential properties owned by monarchs since the Middle Ages, in which Charles inherits as king. Number 1. Wood Farm. One of the lesser-known homes that Charles has acquired from the Queen is Wood Farm, which is located on the beautiful Sandringham estate, but is separate from the main house. The late Prince Philip was very fond of the humble property, and is reportedly where he spent most of his time after retiring from public duties in August 2017, resigning separately from Her Majesty. The 5-bedroom farmhouse is set within a picturesque corner of the stunning 600-acre estate, but it is rather low-key inside, far from the gilded grandeur of royal residences such as Buckingham Palace. The impressive estate is also home to Amer Hall, which is the country home for the Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children. But that is all. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.